Let's talk about Iceland. Honestly, it was not like at the top of my I must do this list, but it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. I highly recommend it to everybody. Like, it should have been at the top of my list. I'm gonna walk you through it and tell you all of the things that we did, if I liked it, if I didn't, and what I learned from my trip. So we flew Iceland Air, pretty simple. We did the economy light version, so no meal or anything like that, which it's a 5-hour flight, so it's not that bad as long as you eat beforehand. Very easy getting there. We did rent a car, and I will say you're gonna pay a fortune if you are going to take taxis everywhere. Like, if you're gonna be doing tours every single day, I feel like, okay, and like staying in Reykjavik, taking tours, and they all pick you up. That's one thing. But if you want to go anywhere else, which I highly suggest that you do, you're missing out if you don't, rent a car. For us, there was not really any snow. It did get icy. Our first 2 days, the weather was like misty and rainy on and off. Not in the way that we couldn't do anything, but it definitely was very gray and cloudy for the first 2 days. So that did make for some icy roads. So just keep that in mind. I know that obviously if it had snowed, it would have been a different situation. They definitely have rescue teams that pick people up. I'll tell you about why I know about that. But should you get stuck, I mean, God forbid, obviously you don't want to, but I'm just saying obviously it happens. So I know that the conditions can get much worse than what we had. We didn't have any snow at all. Just some rain and mist. So, okay. So day one, we arrive in the morning. We flew overnight and we arrived at like 6:30 in the morning, I think. We did, like I said, rent a car. What I will tell you is getting the car took hours. Budget dollar, and there's one other one that are all three in the same window. Those three, it was packed and just people everywhere waiting to be called. And they had a system to that seemed like it was supposed to call people, but it really didn't. So there was also a line. I didn't know what was happening. Like, once you got past the line, then it was easy going. Like, you go, they give you the keys, you go pick it up as you normally would with a rental car. So we had a BMW SUV. They gave us portable Wi-Fi that went with it. So that was great and very convenient. We needed it. It was definitely needed. I do suggest also, side note, that you get the insurance. I know some people don't get insurance on the cars when they get rentals. They say it is very common for you to get cracked windshields from pebbles hitting the car. And we actually got like a little ding in our windshield. They didn't say anything to us about it, but that would be my main concern, honestly. So just saying, I suggest you get it. Okay, so past that, first thing, we had booked morning reservations at Sky Lagoon. So we literally, as soon as we got our car, we went straight to Sky Lagoon, and it was amazing. Like, we did Blue Lagoon later, which I'll talk about. I wish we would have done them opposite because I preferred Sky Lagoon, so I wish I would have had Blue Lagoon first so that I wouldn't have been comparing Blue Lagoon to Sky Lagoon, if that makes sense. So Sky Lagoon was gorgeous. Like, they did this so well, and it was beautiful because it was the misty day, so that actually added to like the ambiance. It was very misty and magical, and oh my gosh, it was beautiful. And they have like a swim up bar and lots of little alcoves and things for you to explore and just like hang out. You can just kind of find your spot and hang out. And then it also has the infinity pool like thing that overlooks the water. So it was beautiful. Then included also in the price was their like little experience that you can do. You can only go through it one time, but it's like first you do a cold plunge if you want to. Then you go into a dry sauna. It's a quiet sauna. You're supposed to whisper if you speak at all, and no noise basically. And it has the most beautiful view. Like, they did so good with this. It's just the one wall is just all window, and it was so peaceful and beautiful. And then you like walk through this little like waterfally mist thing that they have. It's really cool. They have this like boulder that looks like it's like stuck in the ceiling, and then it's exposed to the outside. It was gorgeous. Like, whoever designed this was brilliant, I have to say. So yeah, it's like this like misty cool water thing that you do, and then they give you like a scrub to do on your body. You put it all over your body, and then you go into the wet sauna. I normally hate wet saunas because they make me feel like I'm dying. I feel like I'm suffocating. This one was actually really nice. It was not too overwhelming. You get out of that, you go to the showers. They give you like a little tea or something. It was good. And then you can go back out into the lagoon. Once you're in the lagoon, you can stay as long as you want to. We stayed for probably like 4 or 5 hours. Like, we were there for a really long time. So anyway, after Sky Lagoon, we checked into our hotel. We stayed at Hotel Laxness. One of the things I do suggest you do, which was lovely, we were there for 6 nights, 7 days. So, and there were 3 of us. So we each chose a place to stay for 2 nights. You really get to like see different areas. We all chose completely different types of accommodations. I knew that both my friends were going to be choosing Airbnbs, so I chose a hotel that was closer to the city. And not that the hotel was like anything spectacular, but it was actually really nice to be close to the city, where they chose Airbnbs that were like much further out. So you just weren't close to Reykjavik. So we really got the chance to explore Reykjavik a little bit. We went there other days too, but it was nice to just be close, but we weren't in Reykjavik. We were still outside of it because I wanted a hotel that had a hot tub. Unfortunately, we didn't end up going in it because we were tired every single day, but that was Hotel Laxness is what we stayed in. Like I said, outside the city. Hotel accommodations were pretty average. It's a small room that has single beds. There's like no closet, so it's like not a frilly fancy anything, but it was clean. That's all I asked for. I just want a clean place to stay. Like, I hate when you like get there and you feel skeeved out. Ugh. And then we went to dinner. I'm gonna ruin this name. Fiskfelagide, Fishco. Anyway, I'll put up a photo or something. And it was our fancy dinner night. So it was freaking expensive. First of all, let me just tell you, it was expensive, but it was delicious food. If you want a fancy little meal, I definitely suggest this place. Their drinks were delicious. Their food was delicious. They have obviously lots of seafood. So as like an appetizer, they give you this like kind of like a tuna tartare thing. You don't pay for it, it just comes. And it was, oh my gosh, like I'm still thinking about it. Like my mouth is about to start watering. So good. And we ordered like 3 different appetizers so we could all try some. So we each had like a piece of that, and those were all delicious. And then for me, I got the lobster salad. It was delicious. It was tons of cheese, which is amazing. And then it had langoustine and shrimp in it. Delish. I loved everything at this place. We did get dessert. We only got one and we just shared it because we were full, but I don't suggest getting dessert here. I would suggest just going and getting ice cream or something afterwards. And the reason why is because I think the dessert cost like $30 US, and it was like tiny. It was like this little tiny. So when we like did the math afterwards, we're like, we shouldn't have gotten a dessert. But anyway, we walked around a little bit in the little downtown area. It was very cute, very walkable. And yeah, so that was day 1. Day 2, we did a tour. So we did have breakfast at the hotel, waited for them to come pick us up. Our tour was called Golden Circle Tales Tomato Farm and Cured. It's by East West. I highly suggest this. I chose this tour in particular because it said small group, and I saw that there were some that were much bigger groups. Like they have those huge like charter buses. This one had, I think we were probably a group of like 18 people. I think it could go up to like 20 something. But the other ones are much larger, like a lot of the other ones. I will say I have their card. This is East West, and we had David for our guide. So he gave us a little code, EW David. He said that we could share this with people and you'll get, I think, 10% off or something when you book. So I just wanted to share that in case you're interested in going. I highly suggest it. They were amazing. And they do a bunch of different tours. I know he said that they also had like a Northern Lights tour and stuff like that. So we went to like a national park. We went to 2 different waterfalls. We went and had ice cream at a dairy farm, which was very cool. You can see all of the cows. Like they have glass windows in the ice cream part, so you can see all of the cows that are around. All of the cows in Iceland are indoors, so I thought that was very interesting. We saw like a crater, a geyser, another waterfall, and then we did lunch at the tomato farm. I'm not even going to try to say the name, but it was phenomenal. The tomatoes there are all grown indoors, so they have them like it goes up to the ceiling. It was really cool. It was an amazing atmosphere, and the tomatoes were bomb. They were so good. And so I had the tomato soup, like we ate lunch there. So I had the tomato soup, and then we got like there was a dessert. I think it was a cheesecake my friend got, and I could have eaten the whole thing on my own. I like cheesecake, but I'm not like a cheesecake lover. It was phenomenal. Again, expensive. Everything's expensive. Everything, just assume because it's crazy. Tour was amazing. I loved that we got that out of the way to start also for day 2, because it just was then we were able to just kind of pick and choose what we wanted to see after we had already hit all of those places. And we went to dinner at Segrifin. I don't know. I'm not Icelandic. And they are known for their lobster soup, which was delicious. And then literally all they have on the menu is lobster soup and skewers. That is it. You're not getting anything else. If you do not like seafood, I don't suggest you go there. If you do not like seafood, I feel like it would be very difficult to eat in Iceland. You might not like what you order, because I feel like that's really the bulk of probably what they do well. There weren't many meals I had where it wasn't seafood. I did get a fish skewer. It was like a red fish. And then the lobster soup. I didn't love the fish skewer. It was my first time having redfish, so that's on me. I wanted to try something different, but my friend got salmon and it was phenomenal. So I suggest the salmon for sure. The fish skewer and the lobster soup, I think, cost me $40, and it was a cup of lobster soup, not big. And it just one single skewer. So everything's expensive. And I had water. I didn't even order a drink, like just water. Next day, we moved out of our hotel and we needed to go to the Airbnb. On the way, we stopped at a bakery, Mosfell's Bakery, butchering all the names. Amazing. They had one space that was all baked goods, pastries and donuts and breads, and just, oh my God, I wanted to eat all of it. And then they had a whole nother space that was just for coffee. And then we went to the Fontana Geothermal bakery. So that was a really cool experience. So you go there and they take you outside where you dig up bread that has been baking in the ground from the lava and from the heat that is underneath all of Iceland, basically, because it's a volcano. I was shocked. So yeah, that's how they bake their bread there. You dig up this little pot where they have the bread in it, and then we get to share the bread. So it was really cool, fun experience. Definitely suggest it. And then they put they cut up the bread for everybody and put butter and smoked trout on it, which I've never had. Delicious. I will be looking for it. I don't know. I've never seen anybody offer. It's like lox, but it's trout. phenomenal. Okay. And then we drove towards our Airbnb. On the way, there was another waterfall. So we did stop at that, which was absolutely beautiful. Checked into our Airbnb, which was so cute. Oh my gosh. This one was near Selfoss, I think is the name of the area. The Airbnb that we got was in like near a little dairy farm as well. So we were right next to some cows. And it's a 3-story house. So it was very cool. The bottom floor was kind of like the mudroom area. And then, and there was a hot tub outside. Again, we didn't get to use the hot tub. I'm so upset with the lack of my hot tub using. And then the bottom floor had a bedroom. Up the stairs, you had the living room, kitchen, bathroom, and an additional room. And then up the stairs, one more, you had 2 additional rooms. So very cute. We each had our own floor to sleep on, and absolutely loved the space. I think that was it. We just like kind of hung out. So then for day 4, we went to the Blue Lagoon in the morning. Now this was New Year's Eve. We went to the Blue Lagoon in the morning. It was beautiful. Definitely different. It's much bigger than Sky Lagoon. We did have a 9 a.m. reservation. And so, because we went during winter, there's only 4.5 hours of sunlight in the winter, which was wild. It is a little bit longer because the sun takes a long time to go up, but not really to set. Set is like you blink and it's over. But the sun rises longer. So, but at 8 a.m. when we were driving to the lagoon, pitch black. I will also put up a video of that. Completely pitch black. It was wild. I was like, where am I? So we got to watch the sunrise while we were at the lagoon, which was really beautiful. And yeah, so you can stay as long as you want. Much bigger. They also have some spaces that you can kind of like go and explore. They also have dry sauna. I didn't see a wet sauna, but maybe I missed it because we didn't do as much exploring at this one. We were also a little more pressed for time. And they give you like a face scrub for free also, which was nice. Oh, and then the water at Sky Lagoon was clear, where the water at Blue Lagoon is like this crystally white color. So after that, we went back to Reykjavik. We got hot dogs. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this hot dog place, but it's very well known. They were delicious. The line took forever and it was outside. There's different locations. Try to find one that's not as busy. Just do it. Because actually one of the places that we went had a location that had like, it was indoors. Nobody was in there. We could have easily gotten the hot dogs from there and not waited in the frigid cold weather waiting for hot dogs. Then we stopped at another bakery, which was sold out. Oh my gosh. So apparently New Year's is a huge deal. Everything closes early on New Year's Eve and almost everything is closed on New Year's Day. Didn't realize that was going to be the case. I mean, I know that that's kind of everywhere, but they take it very seriously. Then we tried to look for groceries when we got back to our area, but everything was closed. So we had no plans for dinner, so that was fun. Our Airbnb, they have like a green grocer where it's like the little stands where there's nobody there. They just, whatever they've picked for the day is what they sell. So we were like, okay, well, we'll do that because it's open 24 hours. And then they also have a meat version of that, which is cool. It's like a little, it almost looks like a very mini gas station, but it has all little refrigerators and stuff for meat, which was really cool. So we were like, we'll just do that. No problem. We don't need a grocery store. Yeah, they were sold out of meat completely. Not a single thing available. So we went to the green grocer place and we basically got everything that they had there. So there was like some bread, peppers, tomatoes, and cucumbers. That's what we had. Luckily, from one of the previous bakeries, my friend had bought some sliced ham, I think. So we did have some deli meat that was all that we had. And she had some cheese. She bought some cheese as well. Thank goodness. So we just made what we could with that. We like sauteed up some peppers, put it on the bread, made a little cucumber salad. Like, we were just trying to be real creative. Oh, and then we went to a bonfire. So New Year's Eve, they do bonfires apparently in all of the places that are populated in Iceland. It's very popular, and it was massive. This was not some little like fire. No, it was huge. Like, I can't even express it. Again, I'll put something up so that you can see like a person standing next to the fire. It was wild, and very hot. Like, my face was burning off. But very cool. I loved the experience. We didn't stay there for too long. It was free, which was great. We were probably there for like 30 minutes ish. And then we went back to the Airbnb. If you live there, you buy your own fireworks and you set off like big fireworks, not like little tiny sparklers and stuff. I'm talking the big guns. We could see like in the distance, you see all of these different places that are like setting off fireworks, because we were luckily in a space where it was like pretty open. Like, you could see for miles and miles and miles. Kind of like made our meal, we drank, we waited for the ball to drop, we watched TV, we were looking out the windows at the fireworks all night because people were setting them off like at different times. So very cool experience. And next day we were leaving that Airbnb and going to our next one, which was in Hella. I think that's how you say it. We stopped for breakfast. There's, again, not many places are open. So we found one that was open. It was called Byra, I think is what it's called. Really cute place. Everything was like your plates were like a mini buffet, which was so great. You got like a little mini pancake and like a side of potatoes, and they had a little thing of rice pudding and like one little sausage and one piece of toast. Like, it was just a nice tasting of everything, and everything was really good. But the guy there was asking us, did you see the fireworks last night? And we were saying, yeah. And he was asking where we were from, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, the rescue teams that go and rescue you if you get stuck in winter or whatever, they do a fundraiser selling the fireworks. It's kind of like a customary thing where each household spends about $1,000 on fireworks every year, because it's the biggest fundraiser of the year for the rescue teams. So it's just helping to fund them. So you know that obviously you can get rescued should you need it throughout the year, which I just thought was so cool and something that the US would just never do. We checked into our new Airbnb, like I said, that was in Hella. This one was so cute. It was like a mini, like a tiny house is kind of. It was like this hut looking, beautiful, completely updated. Like, as soon as you walk in, it's like a little, you know, just a counter for your kitchen, and like a dining room table, bathroom, one bedroom with 2 single beds. And then it had just the stairs that went up to like a loft space. And then they had 4 additional beds upstairs, actually. So yeah, you could easily be 6 people staying there, which would be crowded. But loved it. It was super cute. The hosts were great. And they have 2 little sheepdogs that like run around in the space, and they're Icelandic sheepdogs, and they're the cutest things I've ever seen in my life. Like, oh my gosh, I wanted to take one home. And it was New Year's Day, and we had no food and we had no plans for dinner. So we went searching for a grocery store that would be open. We did see one that looked like it was open. It was further away, but we didn't really have any plans that day. So we were like, let's just go for a drive and check it out. So we drove down to Vik, which is also where the black sand beaches are. And we found a grocery store that was open. On the way down there, the drive is beautiful. Oh my gosh, it was stunning. You see waterfalls, you see the mountains and the glacier in the background. And you can see, like, we were driving during sunset. It was gorgeous. Oh my gosh, I loved that drive. And we got to do it twice because we did it the next day too. On the way down, we also, my friend who was also like a huge baker, she was like, is that a bakery? Should we stop? And I was driving, I'm like, skirt! Like, so we stopped at this bakery and we all got tons of baked goods. I think we each got like 3 different things, and then we did like a buffet later on. It was delicious. It was called Faxi Bakery. Got our groceries for the night, went back to our Airbnb, made our dinner, and that night we finally got to see the Northern Lights. It wasn't like super vibrant, crazy in the sky, and so it was a little bit disappointing. It definitely shows up more in photos than it does in person. But so we were a little bit underwhelmed, but I was happy that I got to see them because honestly, it was the reason why I was there. I said I was there for the lagoons and for the Northern Lights. That's it. And I said, if I don't see the Northern Lights, I'm going to be real upset. So they didn't have a TV in our Airbnb, but we just set up our laptop. And so we still watched some TV before bed and ate dinner. We made like delicious lamb and scalloped potatoes, and it was a phenomenal meal. The next day, we just wanted to go to a lighthouse, again, near Vic. So on the way, we stopped at this place in our little area called American School Bus Cafe, and they have an American school bus, and you walk into it, and it has like all of these really cool like 90s like nostalgic things, movies and records, and it was really cool setup and delicious coffee. So we got coffee there. We stopped at a few shops along the way because things were finally open. And then we drove down to the lighthouse. So we got to see the lighthouse. They have like the arch. I don't know what it's called, but they have like this like arch that's pretty famous, that you see from there. And then you also see the black sand beaches, which was really cool. And then we got dinner at Stranden Pub, which was in Vic. I got like a seafood pasta that was really good, and my friends got, I think, burgers, I believe. And then we went back to our Airbnb, and then that night we saw the Northern Lights show. It was beautiful that night. I guess it was just the right weather conditions, and like there's certain, I don't know what makes it happen. It's like the particles and the way that the moon and the sun, I don't know. But that night it was gorgeous. Oh my gosh, I was so happy. I was like so overwhelmed. Like it was stunning. I could not stop staring. And they really do just like move in this like gorgeous, oh my gosh. I was that like perfect ending. It was the last night, perfect ending to our trip. Like, oh, I can't even explain the views. Like it's a feeling that you get. It's not just what it looks like in photos. It's the feeling that you get when you're there, and just so much nature and so much untouched beauty, and everything is so vast and big, and it makes you feel so small. And I don't know, I felt very reflective while I was there, and just in complete awe my entire trip. Just the most beautiful place I have ever been. The people could not be nicer. And I, again, just cannot recommend it enough. Day 7, we had to return the car, all of those things. Returning the car was very easy. We, on the way very close to the airport, we just stopped for lunch, and we got, it was like an Indian place that we stopped at. I'll also, I don't remember the name, but I'll also put a photo up. The food was delicious. There was like nobody in there because it was pretty early. I think it was like 11 a.m. But absolutely delicious. Went to the airport. We were there super early. I think the window opens like 3 hours before your flight. So I would say if you're someone who like likes to be super, super, super early, you're gonna be waiting. Like that's the window just to check your bag, not even to get through security or anything. So don't get there too early. Like everybody relax. Learnings. Iceland is expensive, very expensive. Like I was like, how am I going to recover? Very expensive. Definitely rent a car. I would have been devastated if we hadn't. And also I would have been broke if we hadn't, because I don't think I would have been able to afford taking taxis everywhere. I looked when we were at Blue Lagoon, there was a taxi stand, and it said it was going to cost $130 one way to Reykjavik. $130. That would have been $260 for the round trip. Crazy. The prices there are nuts. So rent a car. It's expensive. And I do want to talk about the clothing. So this was a huge thing for me. The weather said that it was actually going to be warmer there than it is in New York. So it was supposed to be like 30s to 40s. The weather changed drastically every single day. Don't listen. Don't listen. Just assume it's going to be freaking freezing, okay? And this is what I'm going to tell you. Get a good pair of gloves, not those chintzy like knit mittens or gloves. You need a pair of gloves that is full coverage, okay? Get a hat or earmuffs, you'll want it. Wear a scarf. Other than that, just layer up. Like, don't get too crazy. I honestly was perfectly fine wearing leggings with jeans over it or doubled up leggings. Like, you don't need ski pants necessarily. I'm sure if you're expecting heavy snow, that's a different situation, of course. But like, if it's not gonna snow while you're gonna be there, just layer up. That's it. Like, I was so scared. I was like, oh, I should have gotten ski pants and ski jacket and ski. No, I had a huge puffer. It's my winter puffer that I love. It's very long, so that's perfect. I wore double leggings, like I said, or leggings underneath my jeans. I wore the same pair of boots the entire time and basically the same coat the entire time. Don't plan out to try to be cute. Like, that's not what you're there for. Be practical. Don't overpack because it's just silly. Good gloves, good hat or earmuffs, scarf, layer up, and a huge puffer, and boots. Have boots. I didn't have like special boots. They were not hiking boots. They didn't have special traction. They were like Tommy Hilfiger, like army type boots that I had gotten years ago. And honestly, I wore them every single day. There's no reason to bring any extra anything unless you're like going to a fancy dinner one night or something. That was the only night I wore anything different. But otherwise, like, just be practical. And warm socks. You definitely want warm socks. Don't chintz out on the socks and make sure they stay up. I bought a pair of socks from Uniqlo that were heat tech. They don't stay up. Sorry, Uniqlo. I really was depending on you for this and you failed me. Don't get their socks. They don't stay up. So good pair of warm socks as well with your boots. So that is what I would say. And don't be afraid to go look and explore. Like, that was when we had our best times, was when we were like, let's just drive, you know? And you just see beautiful things and maybe you want to stop and look at them and give yourself the space to just have time to, like, you know, be flexible and, you know, try out new things. So, but the people are amazing, amazing experience. Highly recommend. If you have any questions about anything, just let me know. I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Bye.